Yo, what's going on, people? Welcome back to Football Therapy with me, your host Jan. Hope you're doing well. I really do hope that. Welcome back to Chelsea news, and yes, ladies and gentlemen, as at time of recording, I've left it late today. The announcement has not been made about the Chelsea takeover from Chelsea Football Club. We've got Ben Jacobs saying it's imminent, it's done. I explained yesterday how everyone agreed. The Portuguese agreed as well because Roman's got a Portuguese passport. It's just a case of waiting for the announcement, and as soon as it comes out, it's probably going to be later today. It could even be as soon as this video goes live. I will film a video reacting to what's said from Chelsea Football Club because that's what I want to do. And yeah, we'll react to that live, and we'll talk about the ramifications of the statement and announcement. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining me. Please do consider dropping a like and subscribing to the channel as we grow and grow and grow together, you and I. Sweet friend. Chelsea and Kante have won an award. That's right. Let's read off the Chelsea website. Chelsea and Kante win international awards. Pictured Marina Granovskaya, the Chelsea director, with yet another trophy after winning the Best Director in the Golden Boy Awards. It's all happening. And yes, this is the same Chelsea that reportedly started a war. Chelsea Football Club and N'Golo Kante have both been honoured by the World Sport Organisation in the Football Reputation Awards. Chelsea, the your most favourite humble little team down in South West London, have won the Football Reputation Awards. The independent non-profit World Sport Organisation encourages global cooperation to promote the positive influence of professional sport, and in particular, those who compete in it can have on humanity. Well, Chelsea can have loads of good on humanity. As part of that goal, they hold an annual Football Reputation Awards to recognise the clubs and players who have led the way, setting an example by promoting a better world, lovely, and raise awareness for potential sport to influence positivity and change. Positive, lovely stuff, light and fluffy. 3 awards are given out each year. 1 each for a club, player, and former player, decided in a secret vote by players, legend, coaches, referees, executives, journalists, and all-round European football. With 2 of them going to the Blues for 2021. Right, we're obviously going to put this, you know, we're going to assume these votes went in before the sanctions, though, you know, the opinions of how Chelsea as a club is run and how the players play shouldn't be affected by said sanctions. All 3 awards are judged across 10 categories, including how people set a positive example for society, promote peace, sustainability, and healthy living, and oppose discrimination. Well, Chelsea have done lots of that, anti-discrimination stuff, and of course oppose inequality and poverty. Midfielder Kante was an overwhelming winner of the football player with the best reputation award, receiving 62% of overall votes. Jesus Christ. With no one else having more than 17%. Making it comfortably the biggest margin of any of the 3 awards. He is one of 6 Chelsea players in the top 50, along with Marcos Alonso. Interesting. That is interesting. Azpilicueta, Jorginho, Mason Mount, and Thiago Silva. There was more recognition for the Blues as Chelsea was named the football club with the best reputation in 2021 after receiving 37% of the votes in that category, with Marina Granovskaya accepting the award from the World Sport Organisation president Thomas D'Antonio at Stamford Bridge on behalf of the club. Wow, okay. Chelsea have the best reputation in the world, but just, I mean, make what you will of that. Pick the bones out of that one, ladies and gentlemen. Comment down below, express your thoughts, feelings, and opinions. Look, man, Kante absolutely deserves that. I don't think anyone would dispute that. Chelsea did loads of, like, you know, Chelsea Foundation campaigns, charity work. You know, did great stuff in the pandemic. Loads of, you know, anti-Semitism, charity work stuff. You know, they've done loads of great things, so all that kind of makes sense. But then, you know, it doesn't suit the media agenda of Chelsea being the evil opposition. Right, so back to Chelsea as a club and transfers, as the transfer window is about to slam open. Slam open, it will. Something I like, getting this report from the Daily Mail, coming from Cy Phillips. Daily Mail name Wesley Fofana, Jules Koundé, Pau Torres and Josko Gvardiol as Chelsea centre-backs targets this summer. Well, we can all assume Koundé's through the door. We're not going to go over that much more until he signs, of course. Wesley Fofana, for me, is a player that I would love. The Premier League young French centre-back. Obviously had that horrific leg break, like snap, which was awful to see, just as he was in scintillating form. I've waxed lyrical about this young player before. I would love him. And I'm not trying to introduce or welcome, oh, Chelsea have sold Guehi and Tomori and all this. Yeah, you know, fine. And it's, you know, I think Tomori is very good. He's obviously just won Serie A. I think he's on form, the best England centre-back. Does that mean he should be starting in Thomas Tuchel's back three? I'm not so sure. If you look at his scouting report, he's a very aggressive transitional defender. Lots of pressures, tackles, you know, playing in a back four. Not really a ball-playing centre-half. You know, I'd probably much rather Levi Colwill starting on the left of a back three for Thomas Tuchel than Fikayo Tomori. But if we are to bring in a experienced Premier League up-and-coming defender who's seemingly very, very talented, Wesley Fofana, for me, is right on top of the tree, up there. And of course, we've done well out of Leicester before. Well, best to our three in terms of Ben Chilwell and N'Golo Kante. Superb. Danny Drinkwater, not so great. But, you know, if you gave me the option, I absolutely would love Wesley Fofana as a Chelsea centre-half. Fabrizio Romano has confirmed the interest for Ivan Perisic by Chelsea Football Club. Of course, he's in negotiations with Inter for an improved contract offer for more moolah, essentially. But reports a while ago suggested that he had agreed a financial package with Chelsea to come to the Premier League as a rotational wing-back, I guess, cover. He wouldn't start over James and Chilwell, but he could offer some really experienced, dynamic cover, even at the ripe old age of 33 or whatever he is. So that would be interesting. It'd be a free transfer, though. You'd imagine there'd be a signing-on fee and relatively affordable wages for Chelsea in comparison to Inter, who we'd have to assume are still in financial disarray. Terms of players we've already got and sort of Inter-related, Romelu Lukaku reportedly does want to really have a go at Chelsea. He's and whether that's because he has to, because he knows he can't go back to Italy at the moment. Multiple reports from different publications are suggesting that yes, he wants to have a meeting with Todd Boehly. He wants to sit down with Thomas Tuchel and find out what he can do, what in terms of working hard in pre-season, what he can do to make it work as the Chelsea number 9, starting striker. Personally, I don't think things are dead in the water for Romelu Lukaku. I do think Chelsea will sign another attacker, but I'll be interested to see if Rom can work, because, why not? He's shown he can be a really effective tool at doing what he does very well, turning in that sort of half-space right channel, really causing havoc in the final third, and he's a finisher. He just absolutely is a finisher. His numbers dictate that throughout his career. At all the clubs he's been at, even at Chelsea, often when he gets a chance, he bangs it. I think he still ended as Chelsea's top scorer, despite everything, which is wild. Of course, if you're watching the media and you're keeping an eye on stories, Declan Rice is popping up again, of course. It was Graham Bailey. He reported originally that West Ham would listen to offers this summer if it was around 120 million. Now, that sounds like a lot to me. That is too much for me, and that could be a brief. The fact how Aurélien Tchouameni has decided to go to Real Madrid, but also PSG are trying to, really muscle in as well with loads of a massive financial package. And he's obviously a French lad. I think there's a chance he wants to go to Real Madrid, but I think there's a chance he'll go to PSG as well, which would be funny in terms of laughing at Real Madrid because all their targets getting snapped up by Paris Saint-Germain, which is pretty funny. But, yeah. I don't think Chelsea are going to sign Tchouameni. I'd love a Declan Rice. I know many of you have alternative CDMs and they're probably good players. Personally, I'd like Declan Rice, but not for anywhere near that money. The reports today are suggesting, though, more and more that, yet again, Thomas Tuchel is a big fan of Declan Rice. And by everything I've heard from, different sources, Thomas Tuchel does genuinely, indeed, love Declan Rice and wants him at Chelsea. Todd Boehly has an opportunity there to make a statement signing by getting Declan Rice. But again, for me, if he's got a £200 million budget, I don't want him spending over half that on Declan Rice. You know, but the thing is, if you get Declan Rice for £80 million, considering the climate, considering City, you know, United won him, considering Jack Grealish goes for 100 million and he's older, Declan Rice is younger and he wears the captain's armband, it almost feels like if you get Declan Rice for 80 million, it's just this really good value. I mean, it's expensive, but this is where we are, man. This is where we are. In terms of confirmation about the takeover, the Portuguese government this morning have confirmed that Roman Abramovich's Chelsea sale has been rubber stamped in Europe, and that's from Tom Morg, cited through @CyPhillipsSport on Twitter, essentially saying, yeah, because Roman Abramovich got that Portuguese passport, it kind of added another complication in the sale of Chelsea Football Club to Todd Boehly and Claylex Consortium. But no, the Portugal have been like, yeah, no problem, just sort it out, mate. You know, go and do it, it's fine. And then I'd also want to reference another tweet from Cy Phillips, who's just tweeted this out now. Todd Boehly will personally oversee Chelsea's transfer drive this summer after agreeing with Thomas Tuchel that a rebuild is needed to return to the top. And that is James Robson via Cy Phillips Sport. Yeah, essentially, Todd Boehly sat down with Tuchel and he's like, look, man, it's not like, do you want a signing or two? He sat down and like, look, Chelsea's about winning. We haven't been winning. We won the Champions League last season, which is great, but domestically, we're off it. We were about winning. We had the second most Premier Leagues behind Man United until this season. You know, we were joint with Man City. Now they've gone ahead. Todd Boehly would look at all these basic, tangible, objective facts and be like, okay, so what's the problem? Well, these guys are old. They've all come from different managers. We need an absolute rebuild. And he's just gone, yeah, okay, cool. We need a rebuild. I agree. I've just come to this club, you know, when you just buy something, a new house, you buy some furniture for it, do you know what I mean? You buy some fancy stuff, you make a sort of statement, and this is what he'll be looking to do with Big Tommy Tuchel. So yes, lots of positive stuff in terms of recurring names surfacing in the media. In terms of transfers, you know, the sale will go through 100%. It has gone through. It's just an announcement that's going to be imminent. If there is anything, a statement with that, I will record immediately to react to it and give you my take on it and sort of, you know, will ask for your opinions on it, as I always do. Make sure when you subscribe, the bell notifications turned on for all notifications so you don't miss the content when it comes out, because I know many of you guys are loving it at the moment and I've got some really lovely messages. Opportunity for you to keep up and be the first to watch the content. Thank you. See you very, very, very soon. Peace.
You ain't so tough with that bad boy tuck. I'ma get it how I'm living, I'ma walk the walk. Outline my lines, I rap through thought. Body bag the verse, outlined in chalk. In my life seen trouble, hustle on the double. Silence on the trigger like my pick got a muzzle. Yo, chick like to guzzle, bad boy stay in trouble. I only love this paper, sorry I don't. I laugh me, bitch.